Alright, squad. It is almost October 15th, and I just decided it's time to show the world what real AI actually is and not just chatbots. Seen a lot of news lately, and in general, that's just always negative about Tesla, and just is starting to drive me crazy. So, most recently, I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday, there was numerous articles and headlines about the NHTSA, the government agency that, keeps us safe on the roads, investigating 58 incidents, I think 20 of which involved an accident where the claim is that Tesla's full self-driving, which is what I'm going to show, ran a red light, and, they're investigating it. I think that's insane because 58 incidents over the millions and millions of miles that people have driven in full self-driving statistically is irrelevant, especially considering, and you'll see that I hardly touch the steering wheel or do anything. I can observe the world around me a lot more now. The amount of people that are texting and driving or not paying attention is way more dangerous than what this is. This is by far the safest thing I've ever been in. And it's not even perfect yet. It's called full self-driving supervised for a reason, because you need to supervise it still. We're getting really close though to where we won't need that, and we will be able to text, watch a movie, take a nap, whatever, we're not too far away from that. So what I'm going to show you is version 13.2.9. It's been out since January or February, maybe March, can't remember. It's been a long time. And version 14 just started rolling out last week to early access testers. So I should be getting that in the next couple days. Should be 14.1.2. If everything goes good with the early access testers, I should get that within a day or two. I'm usually in the second wave after they get it. So, yeah, I'm just tired of all the negative headlines, and I really think people do not realize what's coming with robotaxi, self-driving, everything. People are just completely missing reality. The media just has always loved to attack Tesla ever since the early days. First it was battery fires, it's this, it's that, oh now it's people don't like Elon. Like, who cares about all that? Like, this is by far the safest thing I've ever been in and ever driven. It's not even close. So I'm just gonna put in an address here. I'm gonna queue up a couple of them, and we'll go to Los Chapos Tacos. It's a pretty good route. Again, I will say it's not perfect. The one thing that this version, software version, struggles with is incorrect map data, and that's not necessarily a software thing. That's bad map data. So you might see me intervene on occasion because of the bad map data. And there's security gates coming into my neighborhood here that it struggles with. But version 14 appears to fix that, because a lot of the early access people have been posting videos going in and out of parking garages that have gates and toll booths and whatever. So that should be fixed. But I wanted to show you this version, and then when that version comes out, I'll show you all the new features that are coming with that too. So let me add a couple more stops here. Let's and then go to Walmart. And we'll edit. And then we'll just come back home. So, all right. So you can see here, it's a bad route. I'm going to take a different route. You'll kind of see how it handles speed bumps, curves. all that good stuff. So all I got to do here is hit the button. My foot is not on the accelerator, and it's going to back up. So again, for now, it's full self-driving supervised. You still need to pay attention. You know, that's why I think it's ridiculous that the government's investigating 58 incidents. And it's really those people just weren't paying the correct attention that they should have. And I will admit, it does get pretty easy to get complacent because you're really not doing anything. You're pretty much hanging out. So I kind of get it. I did have one instance of that. It's been a while, and that was also on an older software version that is not nearly as good as what it is today. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that you need to pay attention. So we're not there where you don't have to pay attention quite yet. Hey dear. So you'll see as we get towards the end here where I'm gonna have to probably hit the brake for the security gate, because it's not gonna see it. Even though it does see it, it still doesn't want to stop. So that's an instance where you still need to pay attention, but you know, 99.9% of my drive outside of the security gates, I don't have to do anything. Or if there's bad map data like there is on this, where I'll have to intervene, or I'll try to use the turn signal to force it a different way, and if it doesn't go, I'll have to take over and take that route. But otherwise, it's very safe. It's obviously late at night isn't necessarily the best time. Here's some deer. It should show them here. Showed them as a person, but there should be updated graphics coming that are going to show different styles of cars, semis, buses, ambulances, people on bikes, on skateboards, different animals. Yeah, it's going to get pretty cool, guys. So I'm going to use my my knob here to slow the speed down to see if it's going to stop for this gate or not. And it is not. So I can report that. Critical disengagement for security gate. And that is kind of a critical disengagement, because obviously that would cause severe damage to my car and take out a security gate and probably cost me a lot of money. So you definitely want to report that stuff, and Tesla goes back and looks at some of these videos and updates their training models. So that's kind of how the software continues to improve, is all their GPUs that they've been buying from NVIDIA, and using their inference chips to improve the training. So as you can see, I'm driving hands-free here. Foot's not on the gas. It's gonna get over, and I'm gonna try to force it to take a left at this light, but it's not gonna do it. So I gotta take over, and now it should listen. Did. I'm not really sure why it didn't go there. That had plenty of time, but hey, safety is always a good thing, especially when I confused it with the route. It probably is still thinking it wants to go straight, and it shows auto lane change unavailable. So speed bump here. Alright, and the matrix adaptive lighting just came on, so I'm not really sure if you can see it in the video or how it looks, since this is my first time recording, but basically you get a full your brights stay on at all times, and if a car were to be coming at me, it's going to turn off the lights that are pointed at that car. So you're not blinding that person, but you still have a full, you know, basically 180-degree view of what's around you, which is great for you and it also, I'm sure, helps the car, especially at night, you know, see animals or objects or people, other cars, etc. So that way that also improves the safety aspect as well. Yeah, I don't think any of you realize the technology that is out there. You know, the media is just constantly negative and bashing Tesla, so you never hear or see anything positive whatsoever, other than, oh, they announced, you know, new vehicles this week, and it's a 20-second headline. You know, last week they spent minutes and minutes on this topic, over 58 incidents, which is just crazy. But yet, you know, the self-driving Waymos that don't have a driver in them currently, in the markets they're in, I think it's San Francisco, Austin, I think Los Angeles, I'm not 100%, I might have to fact check myself on that one, but for sure San Francisco and Austin, where Tesla Robotaxi is competing, or just was released in June. There's tons of videos on the internet of Waymos getting stuck in intersections, blocking traffic. Oh, just avoided some trash there. There was, I think it was about a month ago, a Waymo got in an accident with a fire truck. I guarantee you, if that was Tesla, it would have been all over the news, and it would have been shut down because the people were demanding it. For whatever reason, Waymo doesn't get that same attention. Obviously, I know in today's world with Elon, I know there's a lot of political things going on with that, so that's definitely part of it, but Tesla's always been attacked. Going back into the early days, the early 2010s, mid 2015 to 2020, long before he was even involved with politics, the company was constantly getting bashed. And my opinion on that is it was the oil companies and the legacy automakers like GM and Ford, Chrysler, etc. that, you know, they were paying for these articles to be put out there. That's my opinion, you know, speculation, but none of it made any sense. That it was always constantly negative, and it still is today. So that's my rant and why I'm making this video, so you can see, obviously I haven't done anything in this, what, 5 minutes now, 6 minutes, whatever it's been. Car's driving fine. See, my lights are still on bright, but I'm not blinding this person. Otherwise they would have flashed their lights at me, and now the lights go fully bright again. Great technology. Again, most cars in the US don't have this. This is a pretty new thing. Europe's had it for years. It was just approved in the US a few months ago, and it was released via software update. That's the cool thing about these cars, is you're constantly getting software updates like your iPhone or your Android, where you're getting new features for the entertainment system, you know, you name it. You could look it up. It's constantly evolving. Versus a car that you get from GM or Ford or whoever your favorite automaker is, you might get software updates, but they're not very good, and it's basically just to keep your system running. I don't think people understand the value that you get out of these for the price. So again, no hands, no footer on the brake or on the accelerator. It's slowing down and going over those speed bumps perfectly like a human would. Maybe even better, to be honest. That's the point that I want to get across, is even though I do have to intervene at times, it is easily as safe, if not safer, than most human drivers on the road. And I consider myself a pretty safe driver. Used to be kind of a rally car person and drive pretty fast, but now with this, I just sit back and chill and let it drive, and it's so relaxing. It completely takes the stress out of the entire drive. So I'm going to, once it it makes this left here, I'm going to take out the stop, because I'm not going to park. That's something that that the next software version is going to do. Is it's going to be end-to-end driving. So right now I guess I should demo it. Right now I have to park. So when I arrive at my destination, it's basically got kind of robo-taxi features. So if I'm going to a Publix or something, it'll stop at the curbside as if it's dropping somebody off. With the next software, with version 14, you can choose different options and say, you know, parking lot, curbside, etc., etc., and it will park based on what you tell it to. There's a car coming behind me, but I had my blinker on for a while, and it's pulling in. And so obviously you can see here, I would then have to park. So not really sure where it's going, but we'll just kind of let it do its thing and see where it takes me. It might just stop right here, but well, it's gonna go around. So we're gonna take this out. I'm a little slow and hesitant. From what I hear with version 14, it's a lot faster with that thought process. But you can kind of see how it was thinking there, right? Like, it's literally a brain in the car. And from the videos I've seen with version 14, it's really thinking and analyzing every situation, which is incredible. Even more so than this does. Yeah, for road trips, driving around the city, it's just so much more relaxing to just sit back and let it do its thing. Whenever I'm having conversations with people about it, they just say, oh yeah, I have something like that in my Ford, and which is Blue Cruise, or I think that's what it's called, and that is nothing compared to what this is. That barely keeps you in the lanes on the highway. You know, the nice thing with all my travel for work is I get to drive a lot of different rental cars, so I've tried just about every vendor's version of their, you know, automated driving or cruise control or whatever, and it sucks. It's not good. Some of them are better than others. I would say Nissan Rogue for their highway driving is by far the best. But even then, even a couple weeks ago, I was having to constantly take over. It was not staying in the lanes on curves. So none of the legacy automakers, no matter what you hear or what you see from the media, has anything close to this. Not even close. So I'm in chill mode here. I'm going to bump it up to standard, and that's going to kick me out of the right lane and speed it up a little bit, because as you could tell, I was going under the speed limit. So that's kind of the different modes. There's chill mode, standard mode, and hurry mode. And chill mode usually kind of keeps you below the speed limit in the right lane if there's multiple lanes or if you're on the highway. Kind of a more for the very casual driver, you know, your driver that's going out for a Sunday cruise, or, you know, whatever. Standard's usually more kind of keeps it right at the speed limit, you know, maybe slightly below, maybe slightly above. Usually keeps you in the middle lane if you're on a multi-lane road or freeway. And then hurry mode obviously is for the people that want to get places. It's gonna put you in the left lane. It's gonna drive over the speed limit. You can dictate what your percentage is for how much you want to go over the speed limit. So I'm not really sure why. Yeah, it was gonna change lanes. I think it was because it saw the Tesla in front of me that was stopped, but the light changed. So I'm also not really sure why it wants to change lanes there. See, it's little weird things like that. There's some software stuff, but that's why you got to pay attention. It's by far not perfect. I'm not saying it is. My point is that it's just so much safer than human drivers. especially with all the people that are texting and driving. And if you're one of them, please stop. It drives me crazy, and it's dangerous. Like, people come into my lane all the time. You know, they speed up and cut you off because they're on their phone, and I can see it because when people pass me, I can look at them and I can see them on their phone. So the thing about this is, and I can't really demo it, but maybe I can try to demo it with my watch here. So if I'm staring at something for long enough, there's a camera right here. So if I start playing with the screen, it's going to eventually tell me that attention awareness is off because I'm looking at the screen and I'm not paying attention to the road. It's taking a little longer than usual just because I'm trying to demo this. That's kind of funny, a nudist resort? Interesting. Yeah, so please pay attention to road. So it's gonna make me touch the steering wheel basically, and then I have to pay attention. Basically, if you Tesla penalizes you if you get too many what they call strikes. So if the screen starts flashing red at you, it's gonna basically make you disengage full self-driving, and it will prevent you from using it for the rest of the drive unless you pull over and put it in the park, open your door, and then get back out there. But I think it's 3 strikes and then you can't use it for a week. So here's a good example of where it thinks I'm here, and that's just a bad spot for it to be. So we're gonna continue the trip. Obviously this is a short demo, and not a lot of traffic, so I'll do another one probably tomorrow during the day, so you can kind of see more stuff during the day and how it reacts to normal traffic flow, because that's really where you'll see the difference in how it handles and interprets other humans' behaviors and actions and reactions. Here's another example of bad map data. So this has been out here since I've lived here. It always wants to go right at the stoplight, but I can go left. So I'm not really sure why that has never been updated. I've reported it and it still doesn't get changed. So that's a Google problem. This data is coming from Google. So I might have to intervene here. Sometimes I can force it over. Yep, it didn't want to go, so I had to take over there. Incorrect map data. Vehicle can turn left instead of turning right and performing U-turn. So I guess that's what is that? 3 interventions now technically. 1 for the security gate, 1 for the left turn earlier, and 1 for that left turn. So, you know, not deal-breaking stuff. This stuff should be fixed in version 14, especially with the security gate. The map data, it is what it is. Hopefully, from what I've heard, is the car in version 14 is really learning from you. So in those instances, it should remember that in the future and make that left, but we'll see. I won't know until I get it. So I'm gonna bump it up to hurry mode here and see what it does. So that was an example where it should have changed lanes and passed that person, but that's okay. That's just personal preference. So you can see my brights are on and this car's in front of me. I have full view of light. I'm not really sure if that translates on the video, but you know, it would be blinding this person, and then there's a car coming at me and you can see the lights turning off as it goes. And as soon as I get past this car, you should see on the left, it immediately got brighter. So car coming at me with their brights on. Mine have already started turning off for them, but they haven't turned theirs off. So again, humans. Probably on their phone, not paying any attention to those around them. That's my whole beef. Get off your phone. Because I can't even use my phone with this, and it's driving it for me. So that is inherently much safer, because I can't use my phone even though the car is literally doing everything for me. Now in the future, when it becomes so good that it can be unsupervised, sure, that makes sense, because it's now safe enough to be able to do that. But this is way safer to not be able to use my phone, and it forces you to pay attention to the road. Every car should have a camera inside for that reason. And I'm sure some of you are going to be like, oh, privacy, privacy. That's ridiculous, because if people want your data, they already got it. The internet's been out there for our entire lives, basically. If they want your information, they've already got it, and they've had it forever. So, you know, and in the agreements, you can sign stuff, or you can say to not send it back to Tesla, whatever. I'm not doing anything in my car to worry. Like, if it somehow gets leaked somehow, even though it's not supposed to, it's all encrypted, but if it did, oh my god, I was sitting here commenting and talking to a camera about how good this is. So again, pulling back in my neighborhood, not doing anything, hands are in the air, slowing down perfectly. So, coming back to how it's learning from you, I think there is little quirks, or version 14's running emulator mode in the background. Didn't do it. So what I was going to say was, earlier today I was coming home, so see, it's not going to want to go, even though the gate's up, so I got to hit the accelerator and then it goes. What I was going to say is, earlier today I was coming home, and the previous drive I turned my blinker on like I just did there to try to get it to go the right lane, and today it did it on its own. So I'm not really sure if Tesla has version 14 running as an emulator in the background, because that was clearly like a learning mechanism. But then right there it just reversed to where, even though I told it to go to the right, it didn't go to the right. Hopefully in version 14, after I do that a couple of times and force it to the right, hopefully I'll never have to do anything with it again. And hopefully I don't have to hit the accelerator button. Or not button, but the accelerator. So, anyways, I'm pretty much home here. Hopefully you guys got a little glimpse of the future here. Again, I'll do another video. Probably with less commentary. I'll kind of shut my mouth and let it drive and listen to some tunes. I'll turn it down if there's anything I need to comment on, but just kind of wanted to talk through some of the things and what it's seeing, what it's doing. If you guys have any questions, I'm always happy to answer. I certainly think more people should consider, you know, a vehicle like this just for safety reasons. And it's the future. You don't have to drive. It's much cheaper than driving a gas car. No maintenance. I mean, I can go on and on and on about the cost benefits of this versus any car that's out there on the market, basically. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Hit me up if you want to know more. Thank you.